All right, I think we're live, dude. I think we're live.
All right, all right. So we get started then.
Let's get started. Let's get started. I'm just going to distribute the link, make sure everybody knows, connect.
Yep, chat's working, chat's working.
Chat's on. Hey, F's in the chat. Come on, F's in the chat. All right, I want you to handle the introduction for us.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Big Dog, Little Dog here. I'm Little Dog. It's Big Dog. Twitter handles at Kalichowski and Latrosk.
At Big Dog, Little Dog.
Yeah, follow us at Big Dog, Little Dog. And today we're just gonna be going through a couple Seahawks news from the week, talking about coaching around the league and our playoff predictions. That's the meat of the bunch. Maybe we'll have some special guests to join us today.
We
And
got some
let's
special guests lined up.
let's uh let's get started, huh? So first news of business is going to be talking about more Seahawks news about the offensive coordinator vacancy. I mean, that's the big news this week for the Seahawks. Big news since the end of the season. And talk about what's going on with the coaching right now, Kai.
Yeah, totally. So we got a vacancy at the offensive coordinator position. There have been some rumors dropping from Adam Adam Schefter, Tom Tom Pelissero.
So yeah.
Yeah, so we got some news there. Looking at guys, I'm hearing a lot coming out of the Chargers camp, which you know specifically Anthony Lynn is drawing some serious interest and some rumors. And I think Anthony Lynn kind of has a bad rep right now due to recency bias. I mean, obviously he was a terrible, terrible, terrible game manager, but I don't think his offense was really that bad. And he wasn't calling plays. Actually, they actually passed a lot on early downs, which is kind of what we want to see and what we want to maintain from our offense this past year. But he also takes advantage of play action and using the run to kind of set up the play action and stuff like that. And I think that he provides good value as a leader because I think he's one of the best leaders that are out there right now in terms of ability to lead a team and his players buy in, and he provides value in other areas besides just the X's and O's. What do you think about Anthony Lynn?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in Anthony Lynn. You know, he's had success, obviously, as a head coach in his first year. Well, I'm not sure it was his first year, but the year they went 12-4, obviously. Philip Rivers and Keenan Allen, Mike Williams breakout season. So they've had success with Anthony Lynn there, and he's had success as a coordinator as well. So
Yeah,
I propose the idea, and I think he obviously has good relationship with Pete Carroll. They're friends apparently, and the hope is that it's about Russ. You know what Russ wants, and that's what is important to me. So I think he's what we should be building around an offense, and Pete might be trying to strive away from that, but I think Anthony Lynn has been pretty good at handling quarterback success, so I'm excited
me
about it.
too, me too. And the only other guys that have been mentioned are Tony Elliott, who would be a fun hire, the OC at Clemson, but the rumors are he's looking to stay, and then the two guys working under Anthony Lynn. So, I mean, not much to address there. I will say. I'm expecting the news pretty soon. The way Pete Carroll moves, just in previous years, I think it took him 3 days to hire Shoddy, and then 3 days to hire Bevel as well. So today is kind of technically the third day, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it happens on Monday after the playoffs.
Yep.
So I guess is there anything else we want to touch on Seahawks? I know Russell had a big press conference this week. Um, he talked a lot about the offensive system. I mean, he kind of talks. He doesn't really say anything, but he talked about how he was actually surprised that Shoddy got fired, and
Yeah.
obviously he's not going to say, yeah, I wanted Shoddy fired, man. He was a bad guy, but it seemed like he legitimately didn't want Shoddy fired, which is something to note that Pete Carroll kind of took this on himself, which is what we think. I mean, Russell also just kind of speaks, but. You have any thoughts on that conference? I didn't think there was anything too much in there. I mean, he realizes the significance of this next OC, but I think besides that, I'm kind of what I expect.
Yeah, not much about the press conference. It was just talking about how he thought that this season was, a great opportunity to win. He thought we could have gone better than 12-4, and he's proud of the fact that we did go 12-4.
Yeah,
There's a lot of reflection there, and then he talked about the future. Obviously, he wants to be a key part of that decision making. He wants to he'd be there with Pete, because he wasn't a part of the decision making of the Shoddy firing. So he wants to be
yeah,
part of that with firing, which is understandable, definitely, and I think important. So that's the hope, and nothing much more out of the conference. Obviously, the Seahawks at the end of the season, you get your usuals, future contracts. That's what's mainly going down for the Seahawks camp, future contracts. There was news on Josh Gordon this week. His conditional reinstatement is officially, over
yeah.
and going back into indefinite suspension. So it's not looking good for Josh Gordon playing ever again, once
Yeah,
again.
I think we gotta
So there's a good chance.
shoot the toot on that one.
Yeah.
Fire the hole. Um, I think he might be done, and I think he's probably done with the Seahawks too. So yeah, let's kind of transition away from the Seahawks. I mean, see, this is what happens when you lose the first week of the playoffs. Nothing really is going on for a month or two. Maybe when the OC gets back, we'll see. But there's some big coaching hires today. Some big
Yep.
news in the last couple of days. Uh, I'll kind of just spit those out real quick. We got Robert Saleh to the Jets. We don't like Robert Saleh, but he could be a good coach. Urban Meyer to the Jaguars. Um, that's interesting. Arthur Smith to the Falcons.
Those are the three
It's all
hiring. So
yeah, we got
yep.
we got some good coaches. We got some maybe surprises. I'm not sure how many people expected Urban Meyer earlier this year. Um,
Yeah.
some
But
strengths and weaknesses.
yeah, past few weeks has been a lot of Urban Meyer to Jaguars. It's almost set in stone. Just a
Yeah,
confirmation.
yeah, I did hear some of those rumors. Let me ask you, who do you think, um, who do you think got the best job, and who do you think is going to do the best relative to expectations? So we're talking about the Jaguars who are 2-14, and the Jets who are also, are 1-15, and Jets who are 2-14. Who do you think is going to outperform, their expected jump next year?
Well, I look at immediately. I look neither of both those teams. Not that I think that either guy will be successful. I just think right now their rosters are not built to win. I
Yeah,
think both teams are going to see a quarterback change. We'll see about Sam Darnold, but definitely in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence almost guaranteed. So there's a lot to build there. It was the youngest team and the most rookie snaps last season of any team, pretty by a decent margin. So the Jaguars are very young, and I don't see 1-15. They'll probably get some wins under Trevor Lawrence. I'd imagine they'd be trying to win more. Who knows about tanking in the NFL? But I would say at this certain point, Jaguars were saw the finish line and they wrote it out. And I
yeah,
don't know if that happened that much this year, and I think they'll
totally.
be more because of that. And the Jets, the same thing. You'd expect Robert Saleh, he's a defensive guy. And their
Yeah,
defense is not bad. They've got a lot of talent on defense. From the cornerback, Pierre Desir, they got good guys.
I think they
Definitely.
released Pierre this year.
Oh, yeah. But I was after, I remember the controversy was he was their Walter Payton
Yeah,
nominee. But the point is that they can produce cornerback talent. And
yeah.
they've had good over the years.
I think that's their biggest need, though. I think cornerback and I think edge. They have some.
Yeah.
They have Quinton Williams, obviously. They have Mosley coming back from injury. They got
Very
May
good.
in the back. They
Yeah,
got a few
well,
nice
defense back.
interior defensive guys, but yeah,
Marcus May and BMAC will play maybe
yeah,
more of this.
BMAC. So get some potential there.
That's definitely have
Um,
some potential defense, but they've got huge holes on offense. So my answer to your question, long answer, but my answer is Arthur Smith with the Falcons. I think they're the roster most built to win. There's a good chance they could also see a quarterback change, but I just think receiving core, their offensive line struggled this year heavily, but I think that they got a lot of talent on the offensive line. They obviously have Grady Jarrett, who's a dominant D tackle, who just kind of goes unnoticed. Deion Jones, a lot of talent. Keanu Neal has a lot of talent. AJ Terrell had a pretty good rookie year, so I see them rebounding off that. Probably, there's a stat earlier this year I saw about obviously the Falcons' game management is another issue of theirs.
yeah,
Uh, 9-7. They're leading at halftime in 9 games this year.
Yeah.
So you expect that the Falcons can at least get close to that number again. I think they could. They have a tough division. You see the Saints falling off next year, and who knows about the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think you could easily see a win increase from the Falcons.
Yeah, and I think all these teams are going to get a little bit better in terms of their win total. So you kind of talked about it right there. I kind of want to follow up with the Falcons. Who do you think they're going to draft at the fourth position? I mean, they could draft a quarterback. They could get one of the top three guys, and or they could also draft a top receiver. Not that it's a big need, or a top lineman.
Yeah.
But who do you think they'll go with?
The top 5 prospects, you're looking at any one of those 4 quarterbacks. I mean, Trevor's basically set for number 1, and then you look at it's going to be the 2 wide receivers, obviously the 2 big wide receivers, Jamar Chase and Devonta Smith. You could easily go with high. And then the quarterbacks, you've got people have Trey Lance as their number 2 guy, and he's probably on most people's 4, but Trey Lance is definitely a prospect, definitely if they're keeping Matt Ryan this year, Trey Lance wouldn't be a surprise.
But do you think they draft a quarterback and keep Matt Ryan?
I don't know. It's really hard to tell at this point. I think quarterback's probably where they go, and I think that the Jets would draft Justin Fields, and that's just my assumption. Which means I think Zach Wilson's probably the most likely person. But I think it would be interesting to see Justin Fields go back to Georgia and playing for Atlanta.
That'd be fun.
I
think he's a Georgia boy. I think he's a Georgia boy.
He is definitely. So, I think that's probably where they go. I don't know whether that means Matt Ryan's on the move. There's a lot of quarterback destinations this year that are open. You look at the Patriots, you look at the Lions could have a quarterback opening. I don't know if they're going to trade for another guy like Matt Ryan, but Stafford could be on the move too. And Niners are probably the premier destination for Matt Ryan. Obviously, the connection to Kyle Shanahan. So we'll see if that goes down. But I think quarterbacks where they go, whether they keep Matt Ryan or they don't, which means Matt Ryan will probably be gone the next year after, at least.
Yeah, we'll talk about the off-season quarterback carousel in a couple months. So just to answer that question, I think that I really don't like Saleh. I'm not really sold on his ability, but I think that he might have a big impact on the Jets just because they had a good draft last year. Their talent really isn't that bad. I think they might have equal talent to the Falcons, but younger. I don't think they have bad talent. I think they just need someone to really get them together and riled up, and I think he can bring them together and generate some energy in that locker room. And so the quarterback situation will be interesting. Obviously, that'll dictate it a lot, but I think from 2 wins last year, I think they can get to 6, maybe even 7 wins. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but that could be a big improvement just because I think they're somewhat talented and they have with a 17-game season, I'd expect them to get 7 wins, to be honest. I think they have good talent. I think obviously they have a ton of space to make moves. But yeah, that's my choice. So,
all right.
Anything else you want to touch on in terms of coaching, hires, coaching decisions around the league?
Yeah. I think in the Seahawks aspect, you talk about Robert Saleh. Obviously, leaving the division, you could see a change a lot in the Niners coaching staff. Like you're talking about last week, you're talking about possibly bringing in Mike LaFleur, which would be a great signing for the Seahawks at offensive coordinator. It looks most likely he's going to take that Jets job or something close to it.
I think he is, yeah.
It's very likely that he takes that, and that means Mike McDaniel, who's I think defensive back coach or another coach lower on the Niners.
He's the run game coordinator.
Run game coordinator. Okay.
And he's going to be the OC. DeMeco Ryan, who is the linebackers coach, is going to be the DC.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. So that's the lookout for the Niners, and obviously Niners are a division rival for the Seahawks, so that's big news. And I think it's probably a positive that Robert Saleh leaves. Like you said, I'm not sold on him either. He's been more of a motivational guy than anything tactically. And the defense struggled this year a lot. Their secondary has been okay, and he's had a lot of talent on D-line.
Well, that's probably debatable, though. They finished like top 6, top 7 in defense.
But like I'm saying, their talent is might be the reason. I mean, he's sending 4-man rushes and getting pressure. And even with the injuries this year, Arik Armstead was able to dominate. They got first-round picks all over the line.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'd say they're one of their most impactful players was Kerry Hyder, and he was someone they just picked up off. But that's kind of a reflection of them recognizing that and coaching him up. He wasn't good before. But yeah, I think it's good points. I mean, he was very talented last year, and last year was his best year. Before that, they were not very good, and they weren't very talented. Um, their defense, I'm talking about.
all right. So we'll go into the chat right now, and I have a question here from Paul Dempsey. He says,
Oh,
"This is a question
Paul.
for you, I think. What do you think about Lamar having a higher on-target percentage and higher completion percentage than Patrick Mahomes with 20-plus yard throws?" I'll answer this for a little bit. I purely think that's on volume. You can answer a little bit too. What do you think about that stat?
Yeah, I think we got to take into account volume. I think we got to take into account. So what time period was this stat over? Like, is it just cherry picked? Um,
Oh, it's this year. It's this
specifically
year.
this year? Okay, yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes is throwing many more 20-yard plus passes. I think the other thing you can look at is the number of turnovers on those passes. I think another thing you can look at is, yeah, I agree with you. Volume is the biggest thing. I doubt Lamar has thrown half as many as Patrick Mahomes, and I doubt the difference is that great. Um, yeah, we'll see
Oh,
this weekend. We'll see this weekend. I'm expecting at least one interception from Lamar Jackson this week.
we'll talk about it later in our playoff preview for sure. For sure.
What about Drew?
Uh,
What does Drew got
Charlie
for
White,
us?
this is another team with a head coaching vacancy. Yes, Chargers in the playoffs next year. What do you think about that? I think that's an absolute no chance. Um, I think that if they're gonna have if Steichen also leaves, which he most likely will,
Yep.
uh, and I don't know if he's gonna go to the Seahawks or whatever, but the whole coaching staff's gonna get a turnover, and the talent on the roster currently is not good enough to the point where it can carry that team to the playoffs in their first year. It depends on who they get as coach, obviously,
Yeah, I think
but
they were pretty injured this past year too, though. They're going to
yeah,
get Derwin James back,
James,
some
yes,
of their
big
guys
deal.
in their O line. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, I think that I just don't think the Chargers have enough talent, and I think Herbert, sophomore slump's a real thing. I don't know if it's going to affect him, but Justin made a lot of high risk throws, high reward kind of throws. I don't know if you see those. You could see those
Yeah.
coming out the wrong side this year, and they'll probably be less coordinated as an offense because of that. Maybe we'll see them open up the passing game more because a lot of the criticism with the Chargers earlier was that they were running the ball too much when they had Herbert. So we'll see what
Yeah.
the coaching scheme looks like, and
And
that probably determine
just to
that.
refute on that, because I've been doing some research on Anthony Lynn and stuff, they actually had top 10 in early down percentage passing. So they were passing a good amount. And people are saying, oh, the Chargers, we're going to get Anthony Lynn. They're going to run, run, run. They actually passed more than they ran um, on early downs. Another thing I want to say is, which you're right, I think Justin Herbert might have somewhat of a sophomore slump because he was good, really good this past year at things that are very variant over the years. So that's um, under pressure ability. Oh, look, we got our guest. Under pressure ability and yeah. But anyway, I think it's about time to introduce our guest as we transition to talking about the playoff predictions for this week. We have our anonymous guest. He's going to remain anonymous. His name is Barry Bickermore. And Barry is an avid Browns fan. Tell me I'm wrong. He cares so much about the Browns. He's been here ever since Baker joined, so it's been a real long time. Um, but yeah, just nice to welcome him on the show. We're gonna talk a little about the Browns and Chase Claypool and all that good stuff. Take it away, Barry. Let's see, tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, I've been around since Jim Brown days. I
Oh,
was
is that so?
my mother conceived me in the dog pound. She gave birth to a barking dog. I was in row 6, right on the 20-yard line, plopped out, umbilical cord still attached. I'm a Browns fan for life,
What
man.
stadium? What is their stadium called again?
Look,
the
man,
20-yard line.
let's get down the brass tacks.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Where do you want me to start?
Well, we're gonna go in order, right? So the Rams and
Yeah,
Packers is the first game this weekend. They play at 1 o'clock. Um, let's hear what you got to say about that matchup. Who do you think is gonna take the cake? What are the keys? Let's hear it.
which game? Sorry, I didn't you cut out right there.
Yeah. It's the Rams at the Packers, 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me pull up my notes real quick.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
I mean, I think, the Packers are the team to beat. I think they have the best third down percentage
That's true.
conversion rate in the league. Am I right there?
You're correct.
And really, we're talking about a weak, vulnerable Rams team. Their edges. I mean, I'm sending up prayers. Jared Goff isn't sent to the ER. But I think if you really look at the Rams defense and you take away Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, I mean they're donezo. They're donezo.
That's kind of like if you take away Baker Mayfield and
No, I mean you said we were going to get to the Browns.
Taki,
the Browns. I can talk about the Browns.
We take away Taki.
That's like saying taking away the heart and soul from Cleveland. It's more than football there, man. Anyway, the Packers, really, we're looking at Devontae being the greatest receiver of all time and making a mark in history.
Wow,
I think he has the
bold.
third most yak this year, am I right?
I think in touchdowns or something.
Here?
Yak.
Oh, yak. Yeah, I have no idea, but Barry, I believe you if that's what you're saying.
So listen, the Rams have a decent rush. They're shitty off the edges. Jalen Ramsey's their only good corner. Sorry, I'm allowed to swear.
Absolutely. This is not for kids.
Okay, great.
Disable the kids.
Jalen Ramsey's only one corner. All they need to do is throw a few screens to Devontae and bing, bong, touchdown. Go ahead and mark that one up.
So what's the final count?
I mean, do you want my pick here? My gambling pick?
I want your pick. Yeah, let's hear your pick.
Yeah,
where are you putting your money? Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm putting my whole bank account on Packers minus 0.5.
You got to save some for the Browns, don't you?
Yeah, I have a second bank account.
Oh, gotcha. It's your Browns only account.
Well, yeah, as Bank of America and then Browns and Browns. I'm going in with Bitcoin.
Oh, there you go. You could toss 1 or 2 Bitcoins at him.
Yep. All right. What we moving on to Lamar?
No, I want to hear. Oh no, Lamar. Oh, we don't talk much about Lamar on the show. I want to hear Ala. What do you think about the Rams Packers?
Yeah, so I think Barry's on something, but I think he's got it completely wrong. I think Floyd is absolute stud. I think that is disrespectful in so many ways to just discount Leonard Floyd as an edge rusher. But yeah, I think Barry got the nail on the head though. Other than that, you can see Bing Bong Devontae, as he says, he quotes. I can ride with that. I think Devontae Adams is too dominant right now, and I think you say, oh, take it away from Jalen Ramsey. Nah, put him on Jalen Ramsey. I'm ready to see that happen. I'm ready to see him put Jalen in the dust. That dude is trash. I think Jalen Ramsey is probably the most overrated corner in the league. I'm taking Xavier and Jair all day, every day over Jalen Ramsey. So I think it's going to be a rout. I think the Packers are coming in prepared off the bye week. The bye week is a big deal now. It's only one team with the bye week, and I think they're going to come in, slam the Rams. I think the Rams are just praying for.
I think Ben had a bye week last week, and man, he looked like he had a bye year. Man, that was ugly.
Oh, he did. Look like that.
Yeah,
that could be a elite Browns defense, though. That could be a product of the elite Browns.
I actually, as part of my Blazing Four, I think I'm gonna put. I think the spread right now is 6.5. For the Rams, and I think I'm going to take the Rams plus the points. I think their defense is not to be slept on. Call them vulnerable on the edges. I think they're very strong on the edges. I think it'll be kind of low scoring, 24-20. Maybe the Packers win, Rams cover. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the Ravens, the Bills. We got a battle of two young, mistake-happy turnover prone quarterbacks. We got Lamar Jackson, who doesn't know how to throw for more than 200 yards. And then we have Josh Allen, who's so good up until the fourth quarter where he makes a blatant error and almost loses the game for his team. So, two things, two teams, two quarterbacks that could really mess up. So who's going to mess up the end, Barry? What's your take?
I brought up third down conversion rate when I was talking about old Green Bay. I'm going to bring that up again. And you know who's second in the league of third down conversion rate, right?
Yeah, they converted so many third downs. Are you talking about the Ravens?
You know who it is? Yeah. Lamar. Lamar.
It's because they converted so many third downs against the Browns.
Second in the league. All right. If they look, if they can sustain and finish these drives, lengthen them out, oh my God. They just need to keep Josh Allen, who, by the way, I think is an incredible quarterback. They need to keep him off the field, and the Bills are going to be in trouble. I don't think they can stop Lamar. The only way the Bills can beat the Ravens is if Lamar doesn't play. That's my 2 cents.
That is a hot take, son.
I'm taking. Let me find this. I'm taking Bills plus 3.5. Must have misread my notes here.
Lamar injury.
So I thought the Ravens are winning. So you think the Ravens are going to win, but it'll be close.
No. I think something's going to happen to Lamar. He might need to use the bathroom mid-game for 2 quarters.
I see.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and I think if the Ravens can put it together, they're going to win. But if they can't, they're going to lose. That's my hot take. Final score prediction?
Good take. Sounds like a good take.
That takes sounds. Yeah, that's about the same level.
31
national news.
31-7 Ravens.
But you're betting Bills plus 3.5.
Yeah, I like to diversify my money.
Yeah, you got to separate your emotions from your money. I got you.
Exactly.
So, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I'd like to take the opportunity. Hey, if you got any questions in the chat, feel free to drop them for sure. Anytime. We'll get to them eventually. About any playoff matchup, just feel free to drop it in the chat. So for me, I love what he's saying about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's an absolute elite quarterback. Some say top 3. I say, he's up there, number 1 maybe. We'll see. We'll have the conversation. Call me biased, but I think Lamar Jackson's uber talented. And I don't see. I see actually. If I had to lay out my power rankings this week, I'd say 1 through 8. What are the best teams in the league? Number 1 is going to be, I think, the winner of this game, and I think right now for me it's the Bills, and the Ravens are number 2. I think the Chiefs are wildly overrated. We'll get to that later. But for me, it's the Ravens and Bills, and this is the 2 best teams, the best matchup we'll see the whole playoffs. I think it's going to play out well, but I just think Lamar is a year ahead of Josh. He had his breakout season last year. He's ready to win this year. And Josh is still learning how to get playoff experience. He got his first playoff win last week. To be fair, so did Lamar. But I think Lamar is more set, more built. That roster is more built to win in a playoff environment. I think Josh Allen is too reliant. The team is too reliant on Josh Allen. A lot of news coming out about Brian Daboll. So how focused is he on beating the Ravens? I think they have the better defense and the better line. And I think quarterback's not a huge difference. I think right now maybe Josh Allen's better, but I think Lamar might be the better quarterback, overall and over the course of his career, definitely. So right now, Josh Allen, but it's so close that I think it's not going to make a huge marginal difference, which means I think the Ravens are going to win this, and they're going to take the ball out of the hands of the Bills. I think 27-24, close one. I think you may see turnover-heavy game too. Who knows? They are turnover-prone quarterbacks, even at their best. So our competition for the game. How about you?
Yeah, I think if Cole Beasley plays, this game is going to go in the Bills' favor. He is an elite route runner, an elite rapper, and he's just got all the abilities of a great receiver. And so for that reason, I'm going to go with the Bills by 3. But yeah, we'll revisit this in the future. So let's keep this segment moving along. We're gonna move on to Sunday's slate. We got The first game of the day, we got the Browns at the Chiefs. The Cleveland Browns, the Kansas City Chiefs. The battle of Baker and Patrick Mahomes, battle of Texas Tech. Barry, what's your take?
Look, man, the Browns are the best team in the league right now. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have been let off the hook so many times. They haven't played a team with heart like the Browns. They have not faced the grit of the city of Cleveland. They're going to come in there. They're going to I hope Baker brings a flag with him and just plants it right in the middle of the field. But yeah, I mean it's clear. I think it's going to be 50-4. Two safeties from the Chiefs. Two safeties from the Chiefs, and I mean this is the game that Baker Mayfield puts his name on the list of the best quarterbacks in the history of the league. This is really, I'm telling you right now, you guys are going to be like, are you kidding me? And really, the main reason is going to be because the Chiefs are not that good. They're not that good. But everyone thinks, the only way that the Browns lose this game is if Roger Goodell comes in and makes a sprinkler go up mid-game that trips, Kareem Hunt or something. But the Chiefs have the worst running defense in the league. Kareem Hunt is going to absolutely destroy these fools. He's on a revenge tour.
Kareem Hunt.
This is like, he is so pumped up. They have Chase Claypool. They have Sammy Watkins in their ears. They're saying, oh, the Browns suck. The Browns feast on bulletin board material. I can't believe that Sammy Watkins would even put his toes in the water of that mess. He is going. I mean, I feel bad for him. If I knew him, I would have texted him like, "Hey, man, don't say a thing. You're only making the Browns better." And I think if I could do a prop bet on Sammy Watkins, I think he has 0 catches and maybe a fumble on like a reverse that comes to him.
Why don't you make that prop and send us a ticket? We'll post it up here and we'll hold you to your word.
Okay, I will. Let me give you a. Oh God, my notes must be wrong here. Yeah, we're taking Browns all the way here.
Absolutely. And let me just follow up your little segment right there, and ask you, what do you think about Patrick Mahomes then? If you think that the Patrick Mahomes is only going to score 4 points, you must not think very highly of what is thought to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Actually, he's got him scoring 0 points, with 2 safeties from the defense. So Patrick Mahomes is 0 points.
Thank you for that correction. That's 0 points. Solid math, Akahi. Yeah, no, I think Patrick Mahomes is great. Don't get me wrong, but he's going against something he's never faced before, and I really do wish him luck. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great quarterback, but I'm telling you, man, you're going against heart and soul. There's no stopping that. It's a freight train.
I completely agree with you, man. The Browns are feeling themselves. They got nothing to lose. They're going to go in there and just lay it all out on the line. They're going to prove all the haters wrong, And the Chiefs, I mean, they're in cruise mode. They just won a Super Bowl last year. I could see this being an upset. What do you think, Allah?
No, actually, am surprised that we all might pick the Browns here because I'm going Browns again. I think Baker Mayfield, he's got to have that guy with a chip on his shoulder is probably the best quarterback in the league. I don't know, man. I keep doubting Baker myself, and sometimes I just got to look in the mirror and say, wow, look at Baker, man. What a guy. So inspirational. Shout out to Flight Reacts. So I think Baker Mayfield, and I think the Browns, I don't know about Kareem Hunt, but Nick Chubb, that's a whew. Nick Chubb, have you seen those pictures of him in the track uniform back in the day in high school? That man is ripped. He is so athletic. In my opinion, the best running back in the league. I'm saying it. I think Nick Chubb's the best running back in the league. I think he just runs all over them the whole game long. Just absolutely ruthless. And Baker is going to cook off that play action. He just cooks, bro. With
Baker's just going to hold my dick on the side, and they're going to win.
Yeah, he is. He's. I say, bring the flag. I think it's a rout. I got the Browns 27-10.
Yeah, and
Frick
I
bash
think
trash.
just in a more football perspective, I think the Browns are going to be able to run on the Chiefs and they'll be able to control the ball. So I think, regardless, this game might be closer than we think. Um, but yeah, I mean that's a fun one. I guess we'll move on to the last and final game, the third match of the season, the Bucks versus Saints. The History Bowl. We got two of the oldest quarterbacks combining for like 100 years of age. Uh, Barry, I'm not sure how much you follow the Saints or the Bucks, but let's hear what you got to say about that matchup. Who do you think is going to take it all? Which 40-year-old quarterback is going to win this week? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a toss-up for me, but what it comes down to the quarterbacks. I
As
think
always.
Drew Brees doesn't have the same pliability that Tom Brady does, and he's going to be in trouble, man. I think here's my hot take, right? I think you guys want hot takes. I think Drew Brees is benched in the second half. Coming out of the locker
Wow.
room, he's benched.
I
They
just think
put in
that's not going to
Taysom
happen.
Hill.
That's just morally wrong.
Should be his
Dude,
last.
I don't know,
You're
man.
gonna bench him? Wow.
Completely performance based, but yeah, I think really, I don't know about you guys, but I've just been waiting for the Bucks to start clicking. I don't know. I don't know if they can, but I mean they certainly have the power to. But I could see this going either way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Bucks have been clicking recently. I mean, Tom Brady is playing well, and Drew Brees is playing like a noodle. But it'll be interesting to see because the Saints have blown out the Buccaneers both times they've played this year. Hasn't really been close. Um, so that's something to take note of. I don't know what's going to happen in this game though. If I had to put money on it, I'd probably pick. I don't know what the spread is, but I'd probably take the Saints here. What do you think, Alla?
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna take the Saints. I just think that they're the better team overall. I think home field, in the dome. I think Drew Brees farewell tour. I don't know about how they go after this, but I think the first two matchups are pretty dominant. The Saints defense, not even talking about the Saints offense, not even talking about Drew Brees. Saints defense has been dominant, and they've been dominant the last like 6 weeks. They've been absolutely insane. Maybe currently the best D line left in the league. You know, pass rushing wise at least with Cam Jordan, Trey Anderson, Marcus Davenport. They're elite up front. They're getting sacks on sacks, man. They just held the Bears to 9 points. And obviously Jimmy Graham last second touchdown. But they were dominant the whole game. I just don't see that changing. I got the Saints. I think their offense is built that it has the ability to dominate on a Bucks D, just pick it apart. I think Drew Brees will get back on track, but I don't think you'll see anything special out of the offense. I think it's gonna be a defensive victory.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be low scoring. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Good TV for Sunday night. So, Barry, we're kind of wrapping up our playoff segment here. Is there anything you wanna finish off with? Any final comments, or maybe anything you want to promote? We got a few sponsors, one sponsor. So if you got something you want to promote, let us hear it.
I think if you have the money, put your money now on the Browns winning the Super Bowl. That's
Wow.
that's all that I can promote. Um, if you have another bank account, also put it on the Ravens winning the Super Bowl, and you're gonna be in good shape. But Browns, um, that's all I gotta say. Oh yeah, follow Kyle Yoshino on Instagram. He gives out the best picks and pretty much where I got all my notes for tonight. So that's all I got to plug.
I
Thanks for
see
having me on,
that.
guys.
I like how you tell people to bet on the Browns and the Ravens, and then you blame it on Kyle for your takes in case they're wrong. I like that. Always
No,
playing
I
both
don't know.
sides.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, yeah. Well, appreciate having you on, Barry. Anytime you want to come back in and drop some next level analysis like you just did, that would be swell. Um,
Yeah, you guys let me know. All right, take care, guys.
take care, Barry. Have a nice day.
I think this is the time where open up questions in the chat if you got any. It doesn't look like we really do. So any final thoughts? Maybe we'll see if we got any questions in the
Yeah.
last couple seconds.
Well, we didn't really dive too deep into any of the matchups. So, is there any of the matchups you want to kind of take another look at? I think basically for all the games, I kind of picked my winner. I think it's going to be Rams, or I think it's going to be Packers, but it's going to be close. I take the points there. Bills and Ravens, I think I would also take Bills. I would consider taking the Bills straight up, but Bills plus 3.5, I can't turn that down. I think Diggs and Beasley are unguardable. Although I don't know if Beasley is healthy. I think they're both basically unguardable. And then Browns and Chiefs, I'll check the spread on that, but I'm convinced to take the Browns plus points. I'm not convinced the Browns will actually win the game because I just think their defense is not good enough to stop the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs might get one or two stops. But I'd probably take the Browns plus the points there. I'm worried about their defense, though. I think their defense might get destroyed by Andy Reid and Patrick. And
I
the
think that's
Bucks and the
possible.
Saints, I could see it going either way, but I'm gonna lead towards the Saints just because they beat them twice. Although, I mean, how often do you see teams beat the other team? Well, actually, I will say this. Last week I pulled up the stat about teams
Matchup.
playing. Yep. So when one team won twice throughout the year, they won 2 out of 3 times. They won 66% in the playoffs for the third time. So it does kind of lean in favor of the Saints in that regard, which is something to note.
Yeah. I think going back to the Browns game, I think you talk about the defense. I think one thing that the Chiefs have had trouble with is pass rushing. They've not been great under pressure. They've been susceptible to pass rushes. And if there is a strength to that shady Browns defense, it probably is the pass rush. And you could see that the show with the Chargers that they almost lost it the first time, and then they obviously kind of a game in the second time, resting starters, but they did lose. I think that the matchup, obviously, I think any team in that right now in the AFC is explosive offenses, at least not explosive when you talk about the Ravens, but at least very functional and can be dominant, definitely. And I think the Browns are probably the weakest. The Browns defense probably the weakest position group left, but I still think this isn't a terrible matchup that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I know that it's not great, but I think there's worse teams that could have matched up. I think the Ravens would have been a worse matchup. I think the Bills would have been a worse matchup. I think the Chiefs, though, have been shady under pressure. And like you said, they're cruising. They're on good cruise control. And I think the Browns are the opposite. They're so woken right now, so much chip on their shoulders, so much to fight for, so much to play for. And I think that the Browns are coming in as a big underdog. And I think they might take a victory.
Yeah.
I think I want to know about you, but I think for me the most exciting game to watch still is gonna be that Bills Ravens game, yeah. And I wanted you to know what's your pick for the game to watch this week.
Yes, I kind of want to touch on what you said about the Browns real quick. I think this
Sure.
game could look similar to what we saw from the Texans and the Chiefs last year, where the Browns jump out to an early lead. The Chiefs come thundering back, but I don't think the Texans will give up, or the Browns will give up as easily as
The Texans.
the Texans appeared to do. I think they'll be able to maintain. I don't know if they'll be able to hold their lead, but we'll see. For me, honestly, I might be a little biased here, but I prefer watching the NFC. I mean, I think the Bills and Ravens is definitely going to be an interesting game, and so is the Browns and Chiefs. But I want to watch the Rams and the Packers. Those are two teams I've watched a lot of this year. I want to see the Rams defense. This might be just because I'm a Seahawks fan, but I want to see how the Rams defense handles the Packers, and if we are really just as bad, if we are as bad as we think, or the Rams defense is as good as we think. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because the Seahawks they talk about the slump later in the year.
yeah,
Because of that, we've been playing top 10 defenses basically every week,
yeah.
and the Rams are no different from that. And I think this game is going to be showing how good that defense is rather than how bad the offense is. So I like that from the Seahawks perspective.
Yeah, and I think I'm expecting an offensive performance likened to what we saw from the Seahawks when we won, where we dropped about 20 points. We had a few good drives, but mostly stalled out. The Packers might do a little better. I think the last game is obviously the Seahawks just played bad. Rams defense is good. The Seahawks just played bad. So I don't think if the Rams aren't going to blow out the Packers like they kind of blew us out, but I would like to see how well the Packers actually perform consistently, which will be a good watch for me. I think it'll be a good watch, and I think there's a bunch of good games this week. I mean, when you're in the divisional playoffs, they're all mostly good games. Like there's no
I agree.
there's no bad teams. So it'll be a fun weekend, no doubt. It'll be a fun weekend. Do we have any questions from the chat, or do you have anything else you want to touch on? I mean,
No question from the chat. I think we're good here. I think we'll probably have a stream next Monday or Tuesday. Probably maybe around 8 or 6, one of these two scheduled times. We'll set a premiere. We'll sell it out. We'll get the news out later. But as for
yeah,
now, we're gonna probably do that. Maybe another stream later in the week, and it'll be a quicker stream. Most likely, it'll just be talking about not a lot of Seahawks news. Most likely, we'll see if they hire an OC or other job hirings. We'll touch on for sure. But there won't be as much matchups. We'll talk about the games this weekend, and then later in the week we'll probably talk about the games coming up and
yeah,
Pro Bowl. You'll see.
yeah. And I
And
think, yeah, I think I have one question for you. Quick question about the Seahawks. When do you think the Seahawks will hire their OC?
I don't know. I think you could see it as late as you could see it going into after the season ends. There's no rush really
Wow,
for the Seahawks.
really?
Yeah, I think it could be a long process.
But let me counter you this. Let me counter you this. Three coaches have been hired. I think there's still 4 more coaches to be hired. They need OCs. There's 2 other teams, Dolphins and Steelers, who don't have OCs. There's competition for that position.
There is competition. The
and
thing is,
and
though,
and Daryl Bevel and Schottenheimer were hired 3 days after the firing of their predecessor. Just something to think about.
that is interesting. But look, both of those guys, like you said, competition is definitely a big thing. But we're not hiring. We haven't been hiring like top names on the market, and I don't know if we're going
That's
to be
true.
after those guys. But yeah, I think it could be a while. I wouldn't be surprised to see it early, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see it delayed. The Seahawks are kind of in a they're still in a reactive phase, I think. So they might not be immediately out there looking for guys rather than worried about you know contracts and stuff like that.
Totally.
But we'll probably see it happening. Now, Riley White asked YouTube or Twitch. We'll probably stick to YouTube. I think this has been a successful YouTube stream. We had a couple issues at first, but I think YouTube is a more accessible platform down the line. So I think we'll probably try to transition to YouTube. Maybe we'll see on Twitch. We'll see.
Yep,
But I think
and
YouTube next week.
yeah, we'll start YouTube and follow us on Instagram at BigDawg LittleDawg. We're gonna get that set up good. We're gonna do some giveaways, some shout outs. We got some sponsors, and then we're gonna have the blog coming up soon.
Yeah, we get a logo maybe.
In the
We'll see
future,
how
yeah. So we got a lot of things coming down the road. This is kind of prepping for the big launch next year, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited for you guys to be here. I think that's all we got. Expect maybe 1 or 2 shows next week. And anything else?
No, I think we're good. I mean, remember, this is only our 3rd podcast. We got a lot more BigDawg, LittleDawg down the road.
All right.